So nearby, Brad and Nisha, are you ready to make a special announcement?
Yay!
That being, we have new merch, but first, let's talk about Final Fantasy 27. What was that, yay? It's a long-running joke for fans of gaming that the Final Fantasy series is really poorly named, given that at the time of this video being recorded, there are 16 mainline Final Fantasy games, and it's called Final Fantasy. I see what you're doing. You always give me like those funny looks.
I'm not giving you funny looks. I'm trying not to look at you. I know that if you look
It puts me out when I fumble my life.
All I was thinking is, the intro you did before when we forgot to record, that was better.
It was, yeah, and now it does, and now it sucks. Brad mugs for the camera off screen when I make mistakes, and they give each other dirty looks. It's like,
fair, I do often turn just to check the microphone's recording.
oh damn it, no, it's in the game. Damn. And you think after 16 successful video game launches in a row, the company making Final Fantasy wouldn't mind people making fun of that fact? Well, it turns out they're kind of weird about it, as developers of Deus Ex Human Revolution found out when they tried to do exactly that. And watch me to just check now, is it not Deus Ex Human Revolution? I'm really scared now that it's like Deus Ex is the other one. Okay, it's Deus Ex Human Revolution, yes. Because I was getting confused, there's like a sequel and a prequel, and sometimes I get like, I use them interchangeably in my head. And I'm a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series, like some of my favourite games are Final Fantasy games. I have the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive, which features all the concept arts and the interviews with the developers and like the original Iwano watercolours from like basically every game up to 13 when they stopped making these, which kind of sucks that it ends on 13, but whatever. And you guys don't play Final Fantasy, right? There's 16 of them, you've never played one?
Nope.
Never interact with the series in any meaningful way?
I've found clips for videos where you talked about it. Okay,
so let's put everyone on the same page, shall we? So the Final Fantasy series has a weird name, right? Like it's called Final Fantasy and there's 16 of them.
Yeah.
That's the joke. And the actual name is a nod to the fact they thought they were making their final game. And there's a long-running industry rumour that's never really been confirmed or denied, but it's generally accepted to be true, and that is that they called the first Final Fantasy game Final Fantasy because it was basically their last hurrah. It was the final game they could make before the company was going to just be insolvent and shit the bed. And it turned out to be quite popular. And then they had a game called Final Fantasy that they make a sequel to called Final Fantasy 2. And it's just one of those things where, like, and the longer it's gone on, the funnier the joke gets.
I was always under the impression that the Final Fantasy would have been a thing in the game.
No, it's just the name of the series.
So the actual name has no relevance in the story?
Well, there is the running gag of, like, for 13, because the writing in it's so bad, of like, you know what, Lightning? We really are the Final Fantasy.
We have the power to save Cocoon if we work together and carry out our focus.
The Fal'Cie took Sarah from us, and you want to help it? Whose side are you on?
Freeze!
Like, it's got nothing to do with the but it's the name. And can you think of any other bits of media where it has a naming convention like that?
What about The Last of Us 2?
That's a good one. That was like right off the top of your head as well. You've been saving that one. Nisha, can you think of any?
Well, the only thing I can think of at the minute is Final Destination, but I think that's it referencing the Final Destination's death in the films. Yes. So it's not like, the final film in the destination, but that's the only one I can think of.
You know what? We really are the Final Destination. But the one that I like is... I forgot it flew straight out. Oh, the one that I like is the Saw franchise, where we had Saw 1, Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 6, Saw 7, the final chapter, Saw 8, Spiral, and now Saw X.
Do you want to play a game?
Someone's going to mention that you missed Saw 5, but it was in there after 4 and before 6. You know, people in the comments will say you missed Saw 5.
But I love that it's called, the 7th one's called The Final Chapter. The Friday the 13th franchise has 2 movies in it where it's got the word final in the title, and they're not the final movies in the franchise.
Wasn't there a Jigsaw? Wasn't that one of the films?
Oh yeah, Jigsaw's, yeah.
Is that alright? That's the 8th one.
Like, Saw X is the 10th one of the franchise, but the 9th one would then be Spiral.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a Saw 9.
No, that's Spiral. And Saw X is a prequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they need to have John Kramer in there.
They
can't move past him.
It never stops being funny to me that John Kramer has been dead for more Saw movies than he's been alive. The main character of the franchise has been dead in more movies than he's alive.
I've literally, just before we started recording, I was online and I saw this meme which had John Kramer in it, and it was like, imagine being hired to lie on the floor for 2 hours and you become like an icon.
Oh yeah, well, we've got a script ready to record for Halloween where we're going to get spooky. We've got a costume right down there, but we're doing a different thing today, where he talks about that, and like I guess like minor spoiler for that upcoming video. The reason he accepted the role is because he thought the twist at the end of standing up was so interesting. He went, I will lie on that like piss and shit covered floor for 4 days for that moment.
Was it actually him lying on the floor?
Yes, him. It was Tobin Bell the entire time.
That's just like, what a gig.
Yeah. Also, I guess we have to point out as well the Saw franchise for not giving a fuck that Tobin Bell looks about 95 years old, where they have a flashback to when he was younger, and rather than hiring a different actor or using makeup, they make him wear a backwards baseball cap.
Your name, sir? John. With an H, without an H, doesn't matter.
To show he was younger. And it's just him wearing a baseball cap. Anyway, bring it. Oh, you want to say something about Saw, Brad?
I would love for somebody to make a timeline of John Kramer's haircut. Because when they do flashbacks, they don't give him old hairstyles. They just leave him shaved head. So I want somebody to do a timeline of him like growing and cutting and growing and shaving, cutting, growing, cutting.
I was supposed to do a timeline of like, where the fuck did he have the time to build all this shit? It's so dumb. Like, for pretty much the entire series, he is like dying of cancer, and he's overpowering like police officers all the time.
I mean, it makes sense to begin with when it's a bathroom with a saw in it.
Yeah, okay. Brad. We're doing that next week. Okay, so bringing it back to the Final Fantasy series, there have been 16 mainline games, a bunch of spin-offs, a feature-length movie, and a crossover with Disney in the Kingdom Hearts series. And even if you've not played the game, you probably know that Kingdom Hearts is just Final Fantasy characters rock up in a Disney universe, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how that series came about? It's one of those stories where it sounds like it's made up.
I hope that somebody who was a higher up walked into the office with one of his like figurines and pushed it together another figurine like George Lucas style and went, friends!
It was almost that stupid. It was like the CEO of Square Enix and the CEO of Disney got in the same elevator at the same time, introduced each other and just went, we should do something together sometime. And just like, that was it. Literally just in an elevator, shook each other's hands, thought we should do something together sometime. They told one of their subordinates about it, and they just threw together Kingdom Hearts.
That's how band collaborations happen.
Yeah, just two people just...
Right place, right time. Just like if they'd never got in the same elevator, would it have ever happened?
No. It's the same thing. It's like when they were talking about how in the Smash Bros series, of like, it took them ages to get Sora into Smash, because they were like, Disney was so protective of it, and it turns out it's just the main director of that game, like Masahiro Sakurai, carries that much weight in the industry and had that many favours. He managed to pull enough strings to have Disney go, okay, you can use that character, and the Mickey Mouse logo. That's when they got to use the Mickey Mouse logo in Smash Bros, which doesn't sound that impressive, but considering how protective Disney is, was really fucking impressive.
Yeah, when I went to America, I went to Disney Springs, and they have this enamel pin shop with so many amazing enamel pins, and you're not allowed to buy more than like 2 or 3, I think it is.
Well, speaking of enamel pins, which you can definitely buy more than 2 of, we've got those now, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So here's something, we sell those now. So if you want to get some enamel pins of our brand, you can go do that. But bringing it back once again to Final Fantasy, we need to talk about how it intersected with the game Deus Ex Human Revolution. So Deus Ex Human Revolution, like during production, the company that owned them, Eidos Montreal, got bought out by Square Enix, which is kind of hilarious because a key plot point in Deus Ex is that there's just like corporations are taking over the world and ruining it. So like, they got bought out by like, the new business daddy, who was like this giant monolithic corporation.
Please don't use the term business daddy.
It's basically what they were. And again, have you played Deus Ex at all?
No, I am familiar with the vagaries of it.
Okay, so it's set in the far-off future of 2027.
I was going to say, does it sound like a game I'd play? I'm sat here playing The Sims Planet Coaster.
It's like cover shoot. Like the Deus Ex Human Revolution at least is a cover shooter. It's kind of cool, I guess.
I'd never play shooters.
You walk around, you're just a war crime.
The only shooting game I play is GTA. And even then, I just decide to just run away instead.
Playing GTA by running away?
Yeah, if a gang comes up and starts shooting at me, I just like get in a car and
you know what?
leg it.
Nisha confirmed for not gangster. But when they got So when they got bought out by Square Enix halfway through production, they decided, let's put in a nice, knowing nod to our new, business sugar daddy. Let's put in a poster that pokes fun at the fact that Final Fantasy will probably still exist in the year 2027. And they got their artists to throw together a fake poster for the theoretical 27th installment of Final Fantasy. Just a nod to the fact that even in the far-flung future of 2027, they're still going to have Final Fantasy games. And they've kind of overshot the marks. We're in 2023 and we just had number 16. So they're going to have to fart out 11 more in the next 4 years if they want this joke to be funny.
When you say 16 though, are you talking mainline? Because I know there's remakes, there's spin-offs.
Oh yeah.
How many have there been altogether, do you know?
Luke's will have to put in a fact bar of how many Final Fantasy games there are in total. But there's 16 mainline games. One of those games has 2 sequels, one of them has 1. So I guess technically that's getting close. You're getting close to 20 there.
Yeah.
But
then you've probably got ones on different consoles.
Yeah,
held.
You've got Rebirth, you've got all the other stuff. But I guess just numbered sequels, there's 16.
So what was wrong with this poster then? Why were they not allowed to do it?
Well, Eidos Montreal thought there'd be no issues with it because it's a knowing nod to our new corporate overlords. It's not doing anything disparaging, and it's just one of those things that it'll make you look at it and you go, oh yeah, okay, cool, that's fun. Also, they thought because technically they were invoking the intellectual property of another company. Sure, it's the company that owned them, but they still needed to get permission, which they thought would be a non-issue. It's okay, so just send this off for approval to some higher-ups at Square, and we'll go about with our day. And then they got an email back within half an hour saying, no, get rid of it.
We talked before about how allergic companies are to fun. Mm-hmm. It's we just want to have a joke.
But that's it.
And it's a joke that will probably benefit you because it raises awareness for your brand in a funny way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's not really the most cutting joke to say there's a lot of Final Fantasy games. There's 16 of them at this point. It's not really, that's the thing. It's not even that funny a joke. But Eidos Montreal were kind of annoyed that they weren't allowed to put it in. So they kept putting it back into the game and then kept sending it off for approval. And every single time, someone at Square would send back a note saying, remove that poster from the game. We do not give you permission to make this joke. And then what they do is okay, we'll take it out. And then they put it back in another build and then send that off, hoping to slip it under the radar. And at this point, I kind of respect the commitment to what was realistically a very lame, bad joke, because you know what, same.
Well, was it Matt Stone and Trey Parker when they were making Team America?
Yeah.
They kept, whenever they were told to remove something, they would put something worse in and send it off again.
Mm-hmm. There's been plenty of stories like this. Fight Club, I think it's Helena Bonham Carter's character. Initially, when she has sex with Brad Pitt, she says, I want to have your abortion. And the censors, cut that fucking line out. And David Fincher was I'll take it out, but you've got to approve whatever line I replace it with. Sure, what line could possibly be worse than that? Well, the line they ended up putting in is, I've not been fucked like that since grade school. And they had to leave it in. Because that was the deal they struck. And it's just stuff like that. But yeah, they kept sending it off for approval, and the Square kept saying, no, we don't give you permission to make that joke. And Eidos got so mad, so pissed off, that they pulled the corporate equivalent of I want to speak to the manager and called the head of Square itself to ask him permission to make the joke. At which point he's who gives a fuck? Why am I being bothered about this? Yes, you can make that joke. And then he just sent the a message down the line of, stop bothering me with this. I don't want to be bothered about this anymore. Shut up, put the joke in. Who gives a shit? Ship it.
There's definitely some salty managers and executives, the ones who are constantly refusing, who get overruled by their boss and okay.
It's one of those things where it really does feel like one of those middle manager things where they just want to exercise that modicum of power. And when it turns out no, the company wouldn't like this. It turns out the head of the company didn't give a shit. And but the fact they had to call him and get the head of the company to weigh in on a decision to put in a JPEG saying Final Fantasy 27 on it is hilarious to me.
I like it when companies can just take the piss, or they jump on trends, because there was that thing going around on TikTok. I don't know if you would have seen it, but I don't know if you've heard of Maxwell the cat. It's basically...
Oh, is it it's people... Is a cat dancing or something?
It's a cat loafing and it's dancing. It's do 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 do.
Yeah, and you had all companies doing it, yeah.
And literally all companies were filming the buildings and stuff, and then Maxwell just appears above the building, and the captions always oh, I hope my boss approves of my new social media tactic and I don't get fired or whatever.
See, I like that, and I think we can trace that all the way back to Wendy's. And the industry rumour is, everyone knows Wendy's, right? They even have a day of the year set aside where other corporations basically beg them to roast them on Twitter. Because so many people want to be roasted by Wendy's, because think of all publicity is good publicity, and having Wendy's roast your brand raises more awareness for your brand. The supposed reason that Twitter account became so famous for doing that is that one day an employee was going to get fired, so just told someone to fuck off. They sent a complaint to the official Wendy's, my burger sucks, and they just sent fuck off, and it got up 10,000 retweets, and then someone noticed well, wait a minute, being an arsehole gets you clout online. And they realized, oh, well, content creators do that all the time. Let's let corporations get in on that.
It's like when you see companies roasting each other on Twitter and
stuff. The thing is, it comes across as so desperate sometimes. I think it was one where it was Sunny Delight. They had a accident where the person in charge of their Twitter account tweeted out of, I can't do this anymore, guys. And then a bunch of brands were saying, oh, what can we do to make it better? And I just remember the summation I saw is, what stage of capitalism is it where corporations are faking suicidal thoughts for online clout? A late one. Someone could call that late stage capitalism. But speaking of buying things, we have got some new merch.
Yay!
And that new merch has been provided to us. Actually, no, let's explain why we make this new merch first, I suppose. That works, yeah? So, this channel's called Fact Fiend, and we have our logo, the Fact Fiend. Would it be here, right? That's our little logo. It'd be that's the Fact Fiend. It's a little demon reading a book, which, fun fact, was designed by the guy who made the entire website. He just drew it on a weekend, which is really fun. But a couple of years ago now, we got reached out to by our long-time collaborators, Psycho. How do I pronounce the second word? Apparel. And they redesigned the logo, taking the idea of a Fact Fiend, and created the Knowledge Demon. And they created 2 pieces of artwork in the vein of the Knowledge Demon, and they're both super sick, and we had limited runs of both of those designs. And now we've got another artist who's taken the logo once again and just re-envisioned it as something else. And that artist is Baby Senpai, who made this artwork here. You can find all links to their socials below. And I contacted them and said, hey, can you turn my logo into a big titty anime girl? And they're like, say no more. And that's what they've done. And Nisha, you've been in contact with the artists, our friends over at Psycho, to help create this t-shirt, yes? And
yes.
What is the name of our new mascot overlord?
It's the Sage of Secrets.
The Sage of Secrets. And you have, behind you there, you have the delivery, yes?
I do.
Would you like to bring that over then? We've got a bit prepared. I'll hold the mic.
It's proper interview.
Proper interview now. We're pro on this channel.
Also, I'm wearing the knowledge.
So this is the Knowledge Demon. It's like an Oni holding a big scroll. He's a keeper of the knowledge. And that's the thing. The idea that someone took our little, crappy... Not crappy, I like the logo. It's it's very basic. They took that idea and they created that. Let's see what the other artist has done.
Yeah, so this has been a long time waiting.
It has, yes. This has been several months in the creation. But I just remember when I sent them the thing of can you turn my logo into a big titty anime girl? Say no more. Oh, look at that quality!
Oh, it looks so good. And the big reveal. Ta-da!
Hell, goddamn yes. And I believe, Nisha, you're going to go put one of them on to model, yes?
I suppose.
Okay, so I could, but then I'd leave the friend. So me and Brad are going to riff for a moment now, talking about it, so you can go, oh, these are so good. We've got 3 here. So,
different sizes.
Yes. For now. So, yes, if you like the look of that shirt, we have now, pre-orders are open for it, and you can, find that at the links below. It'll be open for a month, and a bit, I suppose. Is that what we're doing, yeah?
I don't know. Nisha knows.
Nisha won't, there'll be details found below or in a fact bar as we're talking. But yeah, pre-orders for that are now available. And something else we're doing, because we like to give away... Oh, we even forgot about the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge. Yeah. We've got the D&D monster. We've done it 3 times. What we're doing is, with the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge, we gave away a little card you can actually use in a D&D game, because it was inspired by D&D. This one, because it's cool artwork, we're going to be providing a little business card size thing with a QR code on it, and that will contain a link to the... Nisha just posing. She just posted, she's just stunting in my kitchen. Perfect, yeah, look at that. Such good design. The Sage of Secrets. He's got the forbidden knowledge on the sword right there. If you like that artwork, you can get it on a t-shirt, but also, as mentioned, that there'll be a business card, it'll have a QR code on it where we're going to create wallpaper versions for phones and computers. So you'll also, when you get it, you'll get like a link to like a high quality version for wallpapers, phones, laptops, screens, your TV if you want one, and all that good stuff, with a little bit of artwork on there. And that's much appreciated. And also, I guess, because we have a spare one of these, we have 3 here. Yep. Actually, we got 4? No, that's 3. We have 3 of these here. So it's like one for myself, one for Nisha, and then we have an extra one in XL. So I guess at some point we'll be doing a giveaway on our Patreon. So if you want to go up to our Patreon, like for details about when we're doing the giveaway of the final shirt that we'll all sign it, we'll send it off to anywhere in the world. Speaking of our Patreon, if you sign up to our Patreon, you'll get 10% off any order from Psycho, which means it's literally cheaper to go to our $1 tier and then just order the shirt there. So you'll get a 10% discount for $1, which amounts to like a 7% discount, I think. But either way, I'm really excited. Well, this has been months. Like, you've been behind the scenes doing this for months now, Nisha, yeah?
Yeah, because I went on holiday when it was dispatched, actually, so I had to wait 2 weeks knowing it was here. Yep. Being unopened, and like, yeah, I want to get back to it. Oh yeah, microphone. It's fine. Microphone's fine. But yeah, it's good quality.
That's what I can't wait to put mine on for the next video.
Soft and yeah, it looks really good.
Well, they make good stuff at Psycho.
Hello.
And we are appreciative of the fact. We did think about like promoting it. We thought it's going to be a bit of a dick move to not promote it with Nisha here, because like you've been behind the scenes, you've been in contact with the artist, you've been working with like the team at Psycho to like get it ready for a t-shirt, which is a more laborious process than I assumed. Because I thought you just
I had to like go in and edit the design a few times, make sure it's fit for printing. But I think Baby Senpai.
Baby Psycho. Baby Psycho. Psycho Baby.
Baby Senpai, she does a lot of printing and stuff, so she had it all figured out anyway, so...
And like, speaking of like elevator deal, it's one of those things, we were just at a con and we saw her artwork, and like, this artwork's sick, can I get a business card? Like, a year later, it's like, oh, we do this thing where we take our logo and redesign it, your artwork's awesome, can you draw my logo with massive tits? He's like, hell yeah, I can do that. And that's what she did. And I love like the detail on it as well of like, really so obviously we've got the red theme, but also like the secret, which is on the scroll, on the sword, and then the mask is like a kitsune. Oh, it's so good! Yes, if you would like to pre-order that shirt, you can do it. The link's below. Patreon, if you want to get a 10% discount. I don't know why you wouldn't. We also have pins now. And yeah, just order anything off Psycho if you want to get their stuff as well. But hell, goddamn, yeah. This has been like 4 months of work. It takes so much work to launch a shirt. Cheers, everybody.